There are thousands of new COVID cases every day in the U.S., and now we may be able to better predict the spread. How artificial intelligence may help preemptively track the pandemic.
Plus, how the new stay-at-home curfew, which goes into effect this weekend, will be enforced.
And after COVID hospitalizations in San Diego double in just 2 weeks, a nurse on the front lines prepares for the worst while reflecting on what's gotten her through the past 8 months.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
Every day we learn how many new cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed here in San Diego and across the country. And now a new forecast model says the next 10 days will not be easy. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. That forecast claims it is possible 10,000 San Diegans will catch the virus in that time. That's an average of 1,000 new cases every day. Our ABC 10 News anchor Derek Stahl is going in depth on how Facebook is using artificial intelligence to predict the pandemic.
Facebook is leveraging its mobile app to help predict the spread of the virus down to the county level, and this map shows the results. Areas in blue are forecast to add the most cases. Facebook projects LA County will add the second most cases in the country by November 30th. San Diego County is projected to add the 15th most unless new restrictions can slow the spread.
Many other forecasts around the world are only predicting caseload at either a country or a state level, and we're trying to be much more local in this approach because we know so much of the response to COVID-19 nowadays is in fact local.
Laura McGorman is with Facebook's Data for Good team, which has been working on the project since the start of the pandemic.
That's why we're making this data publicly available, because we believe that it can potentially help county level and state level actors plan things like hospital beds, ICU capacity, ventilators, all the things that you need to know you're going to need.
The map is powered by artificial intelligence that draws on 7 kinds of data. They use metrics like confirmed cases, doctors' visits, and the weather, along with information Facebook collects, like a survey of people's symptoms and GPS location information.
Things like movement range maps, which show aggregated at a county level whether or not people seem to be staying home or whether or not people are still traveling a great deal.
Facebook only pulls data from users who opt in and know they're not reading your posts. Facebook started Data for Good 3 years ago to build software to help with disaster relief projects. Their location data, for example, can quickly track if evacuations are working.
Typically, groups like the Red Cross have to knock door to door to see if people are still home, or they have to wait for people to show up at shelters to see if they've gotten out of harm's way.
They've also used their software to detect network outages when a hurricane knocks out cell towers. Facebook says its COVID-19 software has been used to analyze the effectiveness of stay-at-home orders in California, New York, and Mexico, and they're continuing to roll out more tools around the world. Derek Stahl, ABC 10 News.
Facebook forecast cases 2 weeks out. Nationwide, it predicts we will see another 2 million infections by the end of this month. The county's 14-day rolling average for positive tests has now gone for the first time in more than a week, has decreased. Right now, it is still sitting at just under 5%. But for the second time in 5 days, the county has broken its record for new daily COVID cases. There were just under 1,100 cases reported today. Our total is now more than 69,200. The county also reported 8 more deaths, raising the death toll to 960.
Several local businesses will now have to wait until Monday to learn whether a judge will let them stay open, despite San Diego County being in the purple tier. ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura spoke with business owners anxiously awaiting that decision.
The battle over a request to open up San Diego bars, restaurants, and gyms will not be resolved until after the weekend. On Friday, attorneys representing a group of local businesses like Cowboy Star and Bear Republic CrossFit Gym pushed for an emergency injunction in court. The state argued that damage to businesses pales in comparison to the damage on human life. Many businesses are waiting on a decision. Point Loma Sports Club has been watching to see how the court battle turns out. They have moved their operations outdoors and are ready for whatever the outcome ends up being.
Personally, for us, indoors and outdoors would be ideal. But we're willing to just comply with whatever the science tells us.
A judge is expected to make the decision on Monday. Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
California's newly issued limited stay-at-home order goes into effect tomorrow night for San Diego County and most of the state. The governor says the order is designed to stop late-night parties from spreading the virus. While the state cracks down on what goes on in private homes, our ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco explains how the county is stepping up enforcement of businesses defying the orders.
The governor's overnight stay-at-home order goes into effect at 10 p.m. Saturday. This as the San Diego County Sheriff's Department announces a new crackdown.
Hopefully, by adding this full-time law enforcement presence, we will stress the importance of compliance with these public health orders.
The sheriff says that full-time presence will include 4 two-person teams for the entire county. He says they'll educate before they enforce. If that doesn't work, they'll issue fines and then cease and desist orders. It's unclear exactly how the department will handle calls about gatherings in private homes. El Cajon Mayor Bill Wells says the increased enforcement isn't justified.
Take away people's constitutional rights of a free access to move around. I think that should be saved for a time when, say, maybe 20 or 30% of the population was dying from a disease.
Friday, the Sheriff's Department tweeted, quote, "We understand you have questions. You are not confined to your home. You can go to work, a grocery or drugstore, walk your dog, or get takeout from a restaurant. The goal is to avoid non-essential activities and stop the spread of the virus to avoid further restrictions." Mayor Wells says he won't stop deputies from enforcing COVID restrictions in his city, but he doesn't like it.
And they're going to be giving citations, which means that a person gets a citation has to go before a judge. And if they lose that, then they can have a criminal record for the rest of their life.
County has issued dozens of cease and desist orders just this week to non-essential businesses still operating indoors. A spokeswoman with the DA's office says depending on the facts of a case, a misdemeanor criminal or civil action may be pursued. Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
And the county issued cease and desist orders to 3 new businesses today: Alliance MMA, the Element Dance Center, and Functional Republic. The stay-at-home order is from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. for all non-essential activity. It expires December 21st.
San Diego's recovering job market could be in for a setback amid purple tier restrictions and now the new curfew. This comes as the county's job market had been recovering. Today, the state reported unemployment dropped for the 6th month in a row to 7.7%. But if shutdowns lead to more employees being let go, then we'll see an uptick in unemployment. And from the job market to our curfew this weekend, you can follow all of the coronavirus developments with the ABC 10 News app. You can find that for free in the App Store.
House Democrats are demanding a briefing from the head of the General Services Administration, which plays a crucial role in presidential transitions. Emily Murphy still has not acknowledged President-elect Joe Biden's win, blocking access to key transition resources. Congress wants her to explain that delay on Monday. All this as President Trump met with the top GOP 2 lawmakers from Michigan at the White House. Joe Biden won Michigan with more than 150,000 votes, and the state is set to certify its results on Monday. The AP reports that after their meeting, the lawmakers said they are not aware of any information that would change Biden's victory in the state. Joining us now to go over today's developments is law professor Craig Barcus from the University of San Diego. So let's stay with Michigan first of all. A lot of people were watching this meeting very closely today with the president. Last week, 2 Republican Wayne County Board of Canvassers, which covers Detroit, they wanted to reverse their decision to certify the vote there after a call with the president. Legally, they can't, but some say that's a sign the president was trying to overturn that vote in Michigan. So, does Michigan's GOP-led legislature have the power to throw out that vote?
Yeah, I think we're seeing a multi-state 2-track approach by Donald Trump here. One track is the court system, and we've seen that a number of lawsuits have been pursued without really much to show for that. The other is to focus on GOP-led legislatures, such as that in Michigan, in the hopes that they can be persuaded to put in place a state electors favorable to Donald Trump. And that's what people were watching for this particular meeting. But as you just said, the word has come out that those two GOP lawmakers have said that they don't really see any way that they will be able to install electors other than that supported by the people. Now, presumably, if they could be persuaded that the vote count was not accurate and there were votes to be thrown out, they could then attempt to install electors favorable to Donald Trump. But as you just mentioned, the difference in vote is right now is I think in excess of 150,000. So it doesn't look like that's an easy or clear path for Donald Trump at this point.
Certainly wouldn't be advisable. All right, turning now to the presidential transition. The Democrats have told the head of the GSA, as we just mentioned, to brief them on why this transition is being delayed. They've given her until Monday. So what power does Congress have to move things along in a situation like this?
Yeah, if there were an easy way to move this along, it would have been pursued much earlier. And basically what we're waiting for is for the head of the GSA, Emily Murphy, to make an ascertainment that the apparent winner was Joe Biden, at which point the transition could begin. But so far she has withheld that ascertainment. Now, we've heard two ways to come at this. Joe Biden was asked whether they were considering court action. And Joe Biden said they've not eliminated any possibility. And one of the reasons that the Democrats might be hesitant to go that route is because they're not sure they would win in court, because it does appear that right now this is fully within the discretion of the GSA administrator. So that brings the congressional route. Now, Congress also it doesn't appear they can compel her to issue that letter, but they can apply moral pressure. And at this point, there's two ways they can go. She can appear, at which point she may refuse to answer any questions. She appeared before Congress in January and did not answer questions about the Trump Hotel in Washington, D.C., but she would just sit there and she would take a lot of heat surrounding issues of national security and the pandemic and how important the transition is. Secondarily, she could go this route. She could insist that she be subpoenaed, under which, under those circumstances, she might be able to say, well, the pressure has become so great that she is prepared to make that ascertainment. But right now, it's really in her hands, and she serves at the pleasure of Donald Trump, and she doesn't appear to be moving at this point.
Yeah, and what we've seen from articles from people close to her, she is feeling the pressure right now. Professor Barcus, thank you so much for your time.